What's up, guys? Welcome to Knockers on the Bottom. I'm your host, Jay Miller if you like. So let's get into it. So today we're going to take a look at the Cowboys win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I know you guys were listening pregame. I actually gave a prediction of 27-24. I almost hit it. 26-24 is how the Cowboys end up, winning the game. So close to getting that score right. I think that's the closest I've been all season. And stick with me. I'm going to hit one of these right on the head. Trust me. But lots of good plays from the Cowboys in this game. I'm not Team Tank, so I am very excited to see how the Cowboys played. I'm excited that they won the game. I know earlier in the day they were eliminated from playoff contention. But I'm glad to see that they still came out there and fought and played hard. This was one of the more physical games that I can remember the Cowboys playing throughout the course of the season. There were a couple of hard hits by Donovan Wilson, laying the wood on some of those receivers. Mike Evans in particular, once he got hit like that, he was pretty much out of the game after that. And not out of the game as in hurt or physically just couldn't play. Donovan Wilson sent a message with that hit. And from that point on, Mike Evans is like, over the middle, no. I also remember, if we're looking at the Tampa side, Vita Vea also laying a gigantic hit, dropping into coverage. Dude's like 316 pounds, 320 pounds, big Samoan dude. And he's dropping in coverage and laying hits on people trying to come over the middle on slant routes. So it was just a very physical game. The Cowboys did a great job of matching Tampa's physicality. And also the Cowboys ended up doing a great job of having a game plan, right? Because going into the game, I said, hey, Rico Dowdle's going to have his fourth straight 100-yard game. Boy, was I wrong. Rico Dowdle got shut down. That offensive line could not move people in the run game to save their life. But in the passing game, they could move people. Cooper Rush played well. Some of the other players played well. And actually, hey, smooth transition. That's what we'll get into right now. So on this particular play, this is one of the plays that the Cowboys had some success in the passing game. So if we take a look here, the Cowboys come out with two wide receivers. They got, it looks like Kevontae Turpin here in the backfield, and or maybe it could be Rico Dowdle. Maybe it's just a little bit zoomed out, so I'm thinking it's somebody else. No, I am right. It's Kevontae Turpin in the backfield. So Kevontae Turpin's in the backfield, and then you have your tight end, Devin Spanford, lined up as a fullback. And then you got CeeDee Lamb to the top. You got Brandon Cooks down here. Then you also have Luke Schoonmaker in there. And Cooper Rush is going under center. So let's see how the Bucs decide to match it, right? So at this particular point in the game, and by the way, this is early in the game, right? It's the first quarter. Cowboys already have the lead, and they're driving. They're on the Tampa 40. So Tampa looks like they come out to match this in a nickel, right? They have their 1, 2, 3, 4 down linemen. They have their linebackers, safeties in the two deep look, and then they got somebody over here matching up over to Luke Schoonmaker. They got a guy here and a guy here. So let's take a look. So Cowboys use a little motion, get Spanford out of the backfield, and now this lets Cooper Rush know, right? Because this guy went with him. He's like, okay, we got some man coverage here. So now he knows it's not a zone, it's man coverage. So I can drop, and if my guy beats the guy, or if I get a good read on what the defensive back is doing, we've seen Cooper Rush plenty of time let the ball go before the receiver even turns around. So let's take a look and see what happens here. So Tampa's creeping. Boom, Cooper Rush. He's gonna go. He's gonna get the snap of the ball here, and So even though the Cowboys weren't running it well, this is where running it well over the last few weeks, because I just told you, Rico Dowdle we'll take a look at it too. We're gonna see it in this game, but his longest or in this episode, I'm gonna get to that play in a few. But his longest run of the day was 6 yards. He had several runs of 3 yards, 1 yard, 0 yards, -1 yard. But because he is running the ball so well, Tampa still has to respect it, even though it's not happening in this game. And this is the first quarter. So they don't know if, as the game goes on, that's going to happen. So this is just based off of reputation, right? So after he fakes the ball here to Rico Dowdle, as you can see here, I mean, look at Brandon Cooks. And then look at all this room, right? Cooper Rush right now is like, yo, dude, this is just too easy. Even right now, we've rolled the play a few. There's still, room for the defenders to collapse this play and make sure that Brandon Cooks doesn't have as much room to run. And he still has about 4 to 7 yards, depending on which side you look, right? I mean, he has probably about 7 yards on this guy, 4 yards on this guy, 7 yards on this guy, 7 yards on this guy. And I mean, honestly, if he just continued to take it up, so let's see. He does continue to take it up. Now, Cooper Rush gets rid of the ball, right? Still, tons of, this was, if we look at the play design, the routes were nice, right? They were very complimentary. And it was very explosive because they exploited what Tampa Bay was doing in defense. So once Cooper Rush knew his man, he left all the route concepts the same. I mean, it's a really good design. Cooks is already open, right? And then CeeDee Lamb is going to command attention. And CeeDee Lamb is honestly technically open too. I mean, if Cooper Rush throws this ball maybe to like this spot, it might be a touchdown. He has so many options here because CeeDee Lamb is open. He's got to throw that ball right here. I mean, ball's already out. I don't know if you guys can see. Ball's already out. But, I mean, he could have definitely, boom. But Brandon Cooks gets the ball here. CeeDee Lamb took somebody deep at the post. Brandon Cooks coming across there. This guy took some underneath coverage. And now, here we go. Brandon Cooks going in. He's trying to get some extra yards after the catch, which he does a good job of. Gets to the ground. But a great play design by Mike McCarthy. Great play execution by people in the offense. And I know we hear a lot about whether or not Mike McCarthy might be back next year or whether he might not be back next year. We can't have a repeat of this year next year if he is back. I'm not necessarily saying I'm against him being back. I'm not necessarily saying I'm for him being back. What I'm saying is that how it took 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks for Rico Dowdle to be the lead back. How it took until Dak Prescott was completely injured and all the other offensive line shufflings for us to kind of open the playbook and try to use some different things and use some motion and get different guys attacking the perimeter and getting our offensive line out of the move. I'm not saying you have to dump all your plays out on the table week one. You don't have to let everybody see everything that you have right away. But there still should be some plays that you let it early to let the defense know, hey, we could be doing this, we could be doing that. We're going to give you a little bit of trickery, a little bit of eye candy. We're going to show this formation early in the game and do something out of it. And then later in the game, we're going to come back with the same formation and do something completely different out of it. It just needs to be a little bit more variability so that even if you're game planning during the week, we've always got something for you that you haven't seen. But that was an awesome play design there by Mike McCarthy and awesome execution by the Cowboys offense. So now let's take a look at another play. We actually talked about something like this in the pregame show when we were breaking down the Cowboys offense versus the Tampa Bay defense and kind of some things that they could exploit. So let's take a look at how it goes here. So the Cowboys come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Tampa matches it with a nickel defense, most common defense in the NFL. You got your 4 down linemen, your 2 linebackers, your 2 deep safeties, your 3 cornerbacks. This doesn't look necessarily like, a hardcore man-to-man, but let's see what happens here. So Cooper Rush likes what he sees, right? He's pointing everything out. He's like, all right, dude, we good to go. Boom. So on the snap of the ball, first thing we notice here is that the protection is pretty good. Looks like this guy's actually having some issues, but Terrence still comes off and gets this guy, kind of buttoned up. So at this point, we have CeeDee Lamb breaking out here, right? He's going to take both of these guys with him because they're going to bracket coverage. Looks like Brandon Cooks is kind of looking to try to, boom. Brandon Cooks is looking underneath to kind of try to sit down. You got a guy out here in the flat. You got a guy out here going to post, and it looks like both guys are watching him. So right now, kind of would be Brandon Cooks looks like he could come underneath, catch this ball, take it into the end zone. But then you also have Jalen Tolbert, who has one-on-one coverage, and he can do some things there, right? Cooper Rush makes his decision. So if you want to go back and just take a look, right? The play is not even fully developed yet, and Cooper Rush has pretty much made his decision. Jalen Tolbert's back is turned here as Cooper Rush is already getting the throw, right? So we already know now the ball's out of Cooper Rush's hands. Jalen Tolbert is turned around, but Cooper Rush has made his decision. He was already going there. And then as Jalen Tolbert, boom, goes back, Tampa guy falls down, touchdown, he gets both feet down and bounds. Again, very creative play design because you're giving your backup quarterback, right? Cooper Rush on that play had multiple places to go. Cooper Rush on the previous play that we looked at had multiple places to go, right? He could have went to CeeDee Lamb over the top. He could have went to Brandon Cooks on the crosser route or on the deep dig. And he did. He hit Brandon Cooks on that route. But he also could have hit CeeDee Lamb. The scheme gave him multiple options. Same thing here. Scheme gives him multiple options. So it's refreshing to see, but it's also like, man, I wish we would have saw this a little bit earlier. So now we'll take a look at Rico Dowdle's longest run in the game, right? So if we take a look here, let's let this continue to go out. All right, so everybody's lined up now, right? You saw Kevontae Turpin, who pretty much went out of the screen. He's lined up. Rico Dowdle's here. You got your 5-down lineman, tight end, tight to the line of scrimmage. This play has typically worked for the Cowboys during the season and gotten them lots of yards. And Rico Dowdle has been awesome at making sure to get tons of yards, right? So here we go. Cooper Rush sees it. Here we go. And he pitches it out. So now, boom. Here, this is blocked up pretty darn well. You've got this guy here who's got great inside position. Chuma Adoga doesn't have a hand on this guy yet, but he's kind of there. You got good block here, block. And then so it looks like this guy is the guy to make the play. So Rico can kind of make this guy miss. And Chuma does a decent job, right, of keeping that guy. He probably gets away with a hold a little bit here because that's definitely grabbing the arm. Maybe not even a little bit, maybe a lot of it. But this is the guy that Rico Dowdle has to make miss. And Rico's done a great job of this all year. But in this particular time, guy goes low, makes a good tackle. Boom, Rico backflipping all over the place. But he does get 6 yards. And one of the things is this was later in the game. This is the fourth quarter. This is 3rd down. Cowboys up 26-17. This was strictly a game planning situation. And one of the things I like about this is we have seen earlier in the season Mike McCarthy not necessarily follow the game plan script, right? And he'll run a play that's a pass and it'll be incomplete and we won't make the guys use their timeout. So being that the game ended up 26-24, making Tampa use every second that they had to use to do what they had to do, it kind of helped in the end because you didn't give them any favors by slowing down the clock or stopping the clock and saving them timeouts. Not that they necessarily used the timeout here, but I'm just saying you kept the clock running, you kept the clock moving. Just made sure that the game was getting to the end because right now you're trying to bleed it. Cowboys have a lead. Rico Dowdle did a good job of getting a nice gain. It was 3rd and 8. He got 6 yards. So if he makes one guy miss, but that guy made a good tackle. And sometimes the other guys are going to make great tackles. So it was just nice to see, hey, that's what we're going to do. We're gonna bleed the clock. We're going to keep it going. We're going to play smart football. Not something that we've always done this year, but something that we're doing now. All right, so now let's take a look at the Cowboys defense, right? Michael Parsons, man, played a great game. Got a lot of pressures. Got another sack. And on this particular play, Michael Parsons gets a sack, and Baker Mayfield fumbles the ball, and Dallas gets the ball back. So let's take a look and see what happens here. So as we see at the snap, Baker Mayfield's lined up, 5 down linemen. This is a formation the Cowboys like to run. As a matter of fact, that very last formation that we just looked at with Rico Dowdle getting his 6-yard gain, if you just go back to the beginning, after Kevontae Turpin goes out of the screen here, I mean, it's basically a flipped version of that formation, right? You got the tight end tight to the line of scrimmage. You got the 5 down lineman. You got the quarterback running back. What do the Bucs do? They come out and say, we run that same thing too. Tight end, tight to the line of scrimmage, 5 down linemen. Got your running back there. The only difference is maybe your running back would have been lined up over here because I believe Rico Dowdle was lined up to the same side, as the tight end. Tampa, a little bit different, but pretty much the same formation. So let's take a look here. So the Cowboys match it with nickel. Extra guy in the box here. Michael Parsons is over here. Now, boom. Micah initially just respect his hustle, respect his gangster, because homeboy gets double team right here. He gets a nice boom from the tight end and then the right tackle as well. Baker's feeling good. He's like, I'm golden. A nice little hold here. He's got a hold of the shoulder pad. You got Ghostin coming around on the stunt. You got Micah rushing down hard inside. What happens? It doesn't matter. Micah uses his hands, right? And some of these other things here too, right? Because you have other people winning on the line of scrimmage. So let's see who else is winning on the line of scrimmage here. Who's this big guy? Is that Linville Joseph? That's Linville Joseph winning. Oh no, sorry. That's Osa. That's Osa Odigizua. Yeah, winning on the line of scrimmage. And because he wins right off the line of scrimmage here, I mean, he looks dead to rights right now, right? He looks like he's got Baker Mayfield in the bag, in the ground. But Baker Mayfield gets off. Micah keeps working. Leofau can't get him. Now Micah gets him down. Ball comes out. Vigil also should get some credit for that as well. Vigil gets on the ball. Boom, it's Cowboys ball. Big turnover. And it was caused by several people, honestly. Micah Parsons, he gets the sack. But Odigizua, the credit for the pressure up the middle right off the rip to make Baker Mayfield not even be able to look downfield. And then, Golston tried to get there. Then Micah finally got there. Vigil gets there at the same time. Ball comes out. It's just your defense swarming. Your defense coming to play, right? I mean, like I said, I'm not Team Tank. I just wish I would have saw this a little bit earlier. But I love it. I love it. All right, so now we got our last play to break down for you guys. All right, so here we go. This is the Jordan Lewis interception, the just most freakish plays of the game. You got Tampa out here during the 2x1, right? So they got the 2 wide receivers up top. They got the 1 wide receiver at the bottom. They got their 5 down linemen. They got a tight end up top as well. So it kind of is a 3x1. And then they have the running back in the backfield. The Cowboys match it with nickel, most common defense in the NFL. Cowboys go 2 deep safety. So let's take a look here. So Tampa on the snap of the ball, right? They snap it. Baker Mayfield is dropping back. He's got his boy. Mike Evans. He's got his boy. He's got good protection here. Nobody's in his face. He's sitting comfortably on his couch playing Madden right now. And he throws it right to his boy, Mike Evans. He's right there. He's got it. And Jordan Lewis just comes in and takes it away from him. Just a freak play, man. it's great to see. I hope Jordan Lewis gets resigned in the offseason. I hope he's back with us because, homie was doing his thing. And honestly, I like everything that I see here. I know it's too little too late, right? But as fans, a lot of times we love our team. We want to see them win everything. We want to see them win right now. But as an organization and thinking it from the team mentality and thinking it from players' mentality, like you're building something, right? Or at least you hope to be building something. And to see them do what they're doing right now at the end of the season, I know, I listen to 105.3 The Fan. I hear Bobby Belt. He's freaking out about everything. He hates that they're doing it now. He thinks, oh, while nothing's on the line, it's so easy. Or people are getting mad. Oh, why are the Cowboys winning? You have all these people out here just doing, these think pieces on why the Cowboys should be tanking and stuff like that. But to me, you've never competed. If you have that mentality, you've never competed. You never competed at anything. You never wanted something in your life. You have to have a reason to do something, right? You need extra incentive, extra motivation, right? You don't want to get up and be your best to be your best. You want to get up and be your best because you're getting something out of it. You're going to get the playoffs. You're, going to get a bonus, things like that. I'm telling you, man, when you play competitive sports like this and you're at the level of these guys, you're one of the top in the world, everything is on tape. Everybody's watching you. Everybody sees what you're doing every single week. And if you want a contract next year, people are going to watch you loafing on tape at the end of the season and think, I don't want that guy on my team. He's not going to be a winner. Unless you're the Raiders or the Jaguars or one of those sorry-ass franchises. But if you want to go to a team and you want to win, people are going to be looking at what you're doing in situations like this and times like this. So I really appreciate what they're doing. I really appreciate them playing hard, and I can't wait to see what happens next week. Let's kick Philly all up and down the field, but we'll get there when we get there. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Follow me on Twitter at JMillerIYL. That's JMiller if you like. You can also hit me up. Email, that's knockersonthebottom@outlook.com. Again, knockersonthebottom@outlook.com. You can also hit me up at knockersonthebottom@gmail.com. Leave comments below if there's something specific you want me to cover. Any questions that you have, I'll take them there. I'll take them via Twitter. I'll take them via email, put it in the mailbag, make it a formal segment. But hit the like button, hit the subscribe button so you know when I'm coming on. I love you guys so much. We're up to 42 subscribers. We're almost at that Cowboys giveaway. So keep hitting that like button. Keep hitting that subscribe button. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Love you guys. I'm your host, J Miller if you like. Until next time, this has been Knockers on the Bottom.